Hello and welcome to the Pleasurepreneur Podcast. This podcast will help you create what you desire in your business with pleasure, whether that be calling in your ideal clients, making more money, or creating a balanced business-life blend. I'm your host, Regan Figg, pleasure and business coach, published author of A Mother's Pleasure, wife and mama to 3 little wildlings. However you're choosing to listen to this podcast, ask yourself, how can I make this more pleasurable? And do just that. I acknowledge the custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded and produced, the Wadi Wadi people of Dharawal land. Now, let's proceed with pleasure. Hello. Welcome to this live training called Exponential Income with your tits out. This is all about me sharing with you the strategy that I helped my client with to have her go from $300 a month to $3,000 a month. How I can help you go from making hundreds of dollars a month to multiple 4 figures a month in your business, which is exactly what we do in the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind. More on that later. So why, look, you don't have to get your tits out, by the way. This is not about, the strategy is not OnlyFans. But I wanted to share this vibe with you because it's about feeling liberated and not really caring and not giving an F about how it should be done and what other people are doing. And it is all about doing what you desire with the energy of sunning your titties by the pool with a French martini, not having to work harder or more hours with more energy, right? This is about looking right now with what you have, what you're offering, what you can help your clients create, what results you can help your clients create, and turning that into a profitable offering and a profitable business that is also sustainable for you. Yeah. So this is about going from hundreds of dollars a month to thousands of dollars a month with ease. Yeah. Tits out are optional. So my client has given me permission to share this with you. And it is a typical pleasurepreneur strategy that I often walk my clients through. And so you are getting such value on this call for free on this training. If you are here live, come and say hi and make sure you ask any questions that you have. If you're watching the replay, you are most welcome to send me a DM or leave any comments in the comment box. I would love to answer any questions that you have and support you to go from thousands to millions. Go from, you can tell I'm excited, go from hundreds to thousands a month in your business. In fact, the mastermind is the place where we focus on creating multiple 4-figure months in your business with pleasure, leading a pleasure-filled life. So I'll give you a little bit of information about me. I am a pleasure coach. I started out as a pleasure coach for mothers who wanted to experience more pleasure in motherhood, in their bodies, in their relationship, in day-to-day life. As I started to grow my business, other people in my audience, I started to call in more clients who were like, hey, you look like you're having a good time growing your business. Can you help me do that? And so my business has evolved to now I am only supporting women who would like to experience more pleasure in their business, growing their business. Yeah. In fact, we are focused on using the time and energy that we do have to amplify our results, to create exponential income. Yeah, with the time and energy that we have. So I have a background. I am a neurolinguistic practitioner. I have a background in yoga and meditation, and I'm a former exercise physiologist. I'm also a mama bear to 3 babes who are 8, 6, and almost 4. And yeah, I work with women to experience more pleasure in themselves, in their business, and make more money doing that. It's fun. It's so good. We do it with pleasure because why would you want to do it any other way? Now, that's a bit about me. I'm gonna take some guesses about you and you listening into this and why you're here. My guess is that you also want to create multiple 4-figure months in your business, but you do not want to sacrifice any more time and energy, away from your family, away from doing the things that you love. You're already putting in time and energy and effort and presence into your business. And for a while there, you were seeing some results. Perhaps now you've plateaued and you're feeling as though you can't grow any further from here with the time and energy that you do have. Chances are you're at capacity in that sense. And even if you did have more capacity, you probably don't desire to spend more time and energy in your business. And herein is why you're here, because you value pleasure. And when I say pleasure, I'm talking about enjoyment and fun and rest and just doing what you desire. Yeah. You value that. You value pleasure. You value your well-being. You are not at all interested in the hustle and grind until burnout. You want to be doing your work for a lifetime and not just a season. And you also want to be making good money doing it. You are, I'm going to guess that you are already doing your work in the world and you are helping your clients create great results. And chances are there's some tweaks that you need to make to your strategy. And there's probably also some mindset pieces in there as well. And so I'll be sharing with you today the strategy, the very simple strategy that I helped my client with. It's very similar to our Pleasurepreneur approach inside the mastermind as well. And obviously when we're working together one-on-one or in the mastermind, you have my eyes on your business, on your unique, beautiful brain, on, the mindset shifts that need to change for you. And also like on your desires, like what it is that you want to be offering. The whole premise of being pleasure-led and desire-driven as a pleasurepreneur is ensuring that like what you're offering pleases you, in that what it is the work that you're doing in the world is what you desire to be doing. Yeah, when you can really dial in to your desires, when you can really prioritize your pleasure when it comes to your business and your work, that creates such enjoyment and passion and such an electric spark that it motivates you. And that you're excited to sell it. And so therefore, when you're excited to sell and excited to show up and serve your people, you're going to be doing more of that. And you're going to be really powerful when you're doing that. And so that means then you will make more sales. So you increase your income. But it's not just about making more sales. It is also about having a look at what you're offering. So this was the first step in the strategy working with my client who went from $300 a month to $3,000 a month. So what she was offering was a handful of low ticket, so low investment offerings, nothing that was anything over a few $100s. In fact, the main thing that she was focused on selling each month was her women's circle, where she would have 10 people in her circle and they were sold at $30 a ticket. So she was making about $300 a month, as I shared. And she was putting all of her time and energy that she had available into promoting that and selling that. And so that was the first thing that I asked about. Like, do you want to still be doing that? Number one, the first thing we want to focus on is selling high ticket one-on-one mentoring. Yeah. And again, like if that's something that you don't desire, there is a way around that. But just for this client, she really wanted to be doing that. She was a motherhood coach and she wanted to be making multiple 4 figures a month and she wanted to be working one-on-one. And so I offered her, you've got a couple of options. So you can sort of drop the women's circle for now and the time and energy you do have focus on calling in a one-on-one client, or you can look at keeping the women's circle. Let's not call those one-on-one clients in just yet. Let's spend that first kind of month or so. I think it was about 6 weeks until you fill those 10 spaces in your women's circle, but let's make it a 6-month circle. Yeah. So the reason why this is because obviously if you are selling something each month, it's like you're on a hamster wheel, right? You're going to have to keep going. If you can create offerings that last for longer periods of time that you only need to sell, say, a couple of times a year, that's going to alleviate your time and energy. That means you can reclaim your time and energy in those other, say, 5 months. So if she was selling that circle for the 6 months, that first month she was focusing on filling those spaces. Then while that's running, while she's getting that recurring income each month, she's got a whole nother 5 months almost in her pocket that she can do with like that time and energy in that 5 months. She can then focus on calling in those high ticket one-on-one clients. Yeah. So the first focus was fill up that women's circle that would be a 6-month women's circle. You might also, if you're selling smaller offerings like this, you might consider doing something that's a 3-month offering, 6 months, 12 months, like seasonal type thing, just because it's not so pleasurable to start each month at 0. So recurring income is a total vibe. Recurring income is pleasurable. And also too, having to like continue to sell something a whole like brand new each month, oftentimes that doesn't feel so soothing for our nervous system. I'm not saying we can't build our capacity to do that. And if that's something that you love and enjoy, keep going. Yeah. But this client was like, oh gosh, I feel like it's just exhausting each month. Not knowing, like having such uncertainty about income each month, having such uncertainty about like how many people would be coming in and not. Yeah. And then also then that affected her energy because it was a bit of a roller coaster because some months she'd fill up her circle and other months it was like, crickets, she would say. And so we all know this feeling in business, right? When it's like, ugh, yay, we're on a high. Oh, we feel like we're getting somewhere. And then, it's a bit of a roller coaster of feeling as though like, oh, now it's not working. So the first thing we did was we focused on filling up that circle for 6 months. She then had some recurring income coming in. She then had work that she could be doing out in the world. And then once that was filled, we focused on selling high ticket one-on-one. Now, you might be not interested in doing one-on-one. You might be looking at like, oh, I'd actually really like to do a nice, like maybe it's a group coaching program or some kind of an intimate group. And so, yeah, you might not be so keen on a one-on-one offering. Then we would look at how we can shape your offering to be high ticket, but perhaps in a group situation. And by the way, if you are offering these small ticket like offerings and you've got to be selling a lot of them and you feel like you're starting each month at zero, like that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I used to do that as well. Like I did women's circles, I did half-day retreats, I was doing one-off coaching sessions. So maybe you're, say, a kinesiologist or an astrologist or whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you're selling just single sessions. And again, like each month you're like, oh, I'm not sure how many of these are going to be sold. I don't have recurring income. And maybe you're also, what I was doing a few years ago was pretty much every 6 to 8 weeks. So let's just say like every 2 months, I was offering a new online program. They were usually around that like kind of $200 to $400 per person mark. And it was so fun at the time. It was like such a great opportunity for creative expression and to play and to experiment and to play around with my messaging and my marketing and all those kind of things. So I'm not saying like it's wrong, don't ever do it again. I'm saying there's a place for it. And if you're wanting to create multiple 4-figure months in your business, the most pleasurable, easeful way I know how to do that and help you do that is by selling high ticket offerings. Yeah. Now, I bet if you're thinking like, oh, so I'm going to have to sell something for $3,000. No, when I'm saying high ticket, I'm saying, say, $1,000 or more. But if you straight away get that irk, like that kind of like, feels like a stretch in your body, there's work to be done there. Yeah. So that will indicate to you that, like I would say, I wonder if you're selling the low ticket offerings, telling yourself that that's what you want to be offering because that's what you really want to be doing. But it's actually because it's protecting you from feeling uncomfortable selling something that's a higher value. Yeah. Whenever we increase our prices, there is nervous system work that's required. There's mindset work that's required. Sometimes there's strategy work that's required as well. So I would just get curious, like with yourself, like, like imagine if I followed Regan's advice and I went from selling something that's $300 to $3,000. Now, it wouldn't be the same offering, I'm guessing, but like what comes up for you when you consider that? Like whatever it is you're selling now, times it by 10, whatever that price tag is. And imagine now going out into perhaps Instagram or your mailing list or wherever it is that you sell your offerings and consider offering something to someone for the price that is 10 times the amount of what you're selling now. Notice what comes up for you. Notice what thoughts come up, what feelings come up for you. Yeah, that is where we do the mindset work. Okay. So back to my client strategy. The first thing we did was shift her low ticket. We didn't like drop it altogether, but that wouldn't be a problem either if that was what she desired. So we kept that. She filled that up in about 6 weeks. That was for 6 months. So that meant she had some recurring income for that sort of 5 months. Yes, she had her couple of hours that she needed each month for her circle, but the rest of the time that she used to be using to sell her monthly circles, she was now able to be selling her one-on-one coaching. Yeah. So as I said, so she was selling one-on-one coaching for $3,000. And so I was like, great. All you need to do is focus on signing one client a month. Yeah. So she was capped at about, I think, 5 or 6 clients a week to see, but she was also doing fortnightly calls. So they balanced out quite well. But yeah, so really when she realized she had to get one enrollment a month, that kind of alleviated that kind of discomfort around the price. And we did, as I said, we did some price work as well. So number one, either drop the low investments for now. There is totally a place for those, and they can be threaded back through in the strategy. Or number two, turn them into like sort of longer programs. So you've got some recurring income whilst you then focus on calling in those one-on-one clients or those high value like group containers. Yeah. So that is the first part of the strategy. The second part for her, I said to her, and this is probably going to be very relevant for a lot of people, is to stop speaking to everybody. Now, I wonder, you've probably heard that saying before, like when you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. And it sounds kind of like, I don't know, catchphrasey or cheesy or something, but like it's true. I really want to ensure my clients are letting themselves have complete creative expression and to really like hone in on what they want. Like, who do they want to work with? What kind of work do they want to be doing? You know, are you offering women's circles or one-on-one sessions, but you really want to be going deep with your clients and working with them for a long period of time and building those deep relationships and having like seeing their entire lives change because of the work you've done together over a long period of time. Yeah, like tune in with what you really want and what really brings you pleasure. And let's remember that like whatever it is that brings us pleasure benefits other people. It benefits our clients, it benefits our community, it benefits our people at home, it benefits our local community, our own clients, our community within our business. So the second stop was like tuning in with like who she really desired to be working with, what would really bring her pleasure. Yeah. And so she got really clear on who her ideal client was, and her focus was to call in that client and to speak to that client like I'm speaking to you now, as if she's speaking to that one person. Yeah. So she got so clear on who it was that she wanted to help, on who it was that she wanted to work with, on what their, and this isn't like it's not like the old school like marketing, like what's your avatar? Like how old is that person and what kind of car do they drive and what color hair do they have and whatever. No, this is more like understanding who that client is. Like what are they thinking? What are their challenges? What kind of results do they want to create in their life that you can help them with? So we ensured, second part of the strategy here, we ensured that her messaging, her marketing, like what she was sharing with the world about her offerings was completely clear and aligned with her ideal client. So some mindset stuff that came up there was like, oh, but what if I'm like narrowing down that kind of pool, collective pool of people? Maybe that will mean there's less people that want to work with me. Maybe that means there's going to be less, you know, if I become more niche or more like drilled down in who I want to work with, maybe there's like less people that will be able to come and work with me. And again, like we looked at some facts like, okay, so how many people can you work with? What's your capacity? And it's basically a handful. Is there a handful of people in the world, because she could work online, is there a handful of people in the world who would fit this description? And, you know, whenever I've asked my clients this, it's always like, like, of course, there's like 10 or 20 people in the world who are having this experience, who are having these challenges, who really want to create, these results that I can help them with. So yeah, first piece was improving, changing up the offering. Second piece was getting really clear on who she wanted to work with. And between those two, like getting clear on the offering and then also honing in on who she wanted to work with, we ensured like that whole kind of offering process, who she wanted to work with. We combed through that to make sure all of that was something that were things that pleased her. Yeah, I remember for myself, and I've shared this online before, how when I was coaching mums, I thought like, oh, so mums want to be coached at nighttime because that's when the kids have gone to bed and they can sit down with a cup of tea and, you know, be really present for the calls. And the thing was like, I didn't really want to be coaching at night, 8 o'clock at night, when I'd finally got my little kids to bed for the day and I was exhausted from just chasing after my kids all day. And it didn't take me long before I realized, I was like, Regan, the whole point of your business, like the one condition that you had was to ensure that, you did what brought you pleasure, and you honored what you desired, this feels like obligation. So I realized that I actually wasn't selling that many, I wasn't enrolling that many clients when I was offering evening calls because I didn't want to do them. They didn't bring me pleasure. They weren't what I desired. So I want you to ensure that your offer and the client that you're calling in, nothing to do with those two things have to do with obligation or things that you think you should do or things that you think you should offer or people who you think you should work with. There can be a fear here of like, or maybe it's not fear. What might it be? Perhaps just a concern that, oh, well, if I don't serve all of these people, if I don't serve everyone, if I'm not calling in everyone, I'm excluding people. And that's not the case. Everybody is an ideal client for someone. Yeah. So your job is to work out who your ideal client is. Because once you start working with your ideal client, that lights you up, that is motivating and fueling for you. And because they are your ideal client, it means they are like the perfect fit for the work that you can help them with, for the work that you will do with them, for the results that you help them create. Yeah. So tune in with your offering, tune in with your ideal client that you're calling in. Make sure none of that is laced with obligation and that it feels really good. It pleases you. It's what you desire. Okay, so we looked at her offering. We changed that to high ticket one-on-one after she'd called in her 6-month circle. And then we looked at who her ideal client was. And then from there, it was, let's just work out the third piece here is like ensuring that the way you are selling, it feels really good and right and true and authentic for you. Now, part of this work that's required mindset-wise for this piece is having to heal your relationship with money and selling. Now, this doesn't have to happen before you can sell high ticket or before you sell anything. It's really valuable work, but we can do it as we are selling, because we notice then what comes up for us. So yeah, part of the work is ensuring that we're selling in a way that's pleasurable for us. Now, one of the main things that will help you to sell your high ticket offering and helped my client sell her high ticket offering with pleasure was for her to like recognize and appreciate. And I don't know if embody is the right word, but just to really see the value of her offering, to see the value of her work for her ideal client. And so some of the work we did there is my 6 points of value activity. A lot of my clients have done this one. It gets you to the point where it's worked when you are in tears with how badly you want to share this with the world, with the realization of like how life-changing your work is, with realizing like how like the ripple effect of your work. And so that's some of the work that we did with this client and that we did together. And to the point where she was like, I have to get this out. Like I have to sell this. And yeah, she was then so excited to sell her offering. And again, like when you're excited to sell your offering, you want to shout it from the rooftops. You have shout it from the rooftops energy. Yeah, we clear out any of that kind of those layers of, I want to say like resistance. Yeah, so we kind of dissolve that resistance when we see the impact we can create, when we know that it's threaded with pleasure. So those were the 3 main strategy pieces. Yeah, so really just changing the offering. So if this is you, if you're selling low ticket, if you are selling one-off sessions, if you are, selling, say, a monthly thing each month, whether that's a circle or whatever it might be, and you want to be making multiple 4 figures in your business, number 1, come into the mastermind. We'll have that sorted in no time. But yeah, like I would just recommend like, what can you create that you could be selling high ticket? Is it one-on-one mentoring? Is it a group offering? But I would be tuning in with like, how can we increase that to a more high ticket offering so that the time you spend or the time that you have and the energy that you have to sell your smaller offerings goes to selling the bigger offerings so that you can be 10xing your income, right? So that is the first port of call. Second is ensuring that the person that you're speaking to, your ideal client, is exactly who you want to be working with, and ensuring that you're combing through every part of your offering to ensure it brings you pleasure. And then last of all, ensuring that like you want to sell it, and working out what your personal selling style is. Because when you can see and when you can identify with and like embody whatever your unique personal selling style is, then it just feels like a conversation. Then it just feels like you are connecting your ideal client with the results that they want to create. It doesn't feel like convincing. It doesn't feel pushy. And as I said, we did the work for her to be so confident in the value that she provided that for her, it was a no-brainer. And so when you get yourself to that point when your offering is an absolute no-brainer, even at $3,000 or more, that's when you can sell with pleasure. So this strategy, I guess you could say, it's simple, right? It can be super simple. It is super simple, but it can feel uncomfortable. And so therein lies the mindset work. Yeah. So if you're using this training, which I hope you do, and you take it with you and you sit down and you make this moment pleasurable to watch the replay or listen to the episode, because I'm recording my podcast as well, and you think, yeah, okay, so what can I be offering that's more high ticket? If I put a 0 on the end of what I'm already selling, what comes up for me? And I don't doubt there will be fear of judgment. There would be discomfort of selling your offering for a higher price. There will be a sense of vulnerability. There will be fear. So we're just talking about if you put a 0 on the end of what you're already offering and making it a longer offering, what's probably going to come up for you. Yeah. And so there will be a lot of that discomfort, fear, vulnerability, maybe shame, maybe embarrassment, maybe resistance. There's probably going to be, we can wrap it up as resistance. Yeah. So this is why I don't care to share the strategy that we've used or the advice that I give, or like, these are the steps. I could even drill down and give more steps in terms of like what we're posting to Instagram and how, I want to say how often, because it's not like in my world, yes, it's nice to have that sort of masculine structure, an idea of perhaps how often we want to be showing up, but I'm not one to be like, okay, you need to be accountable to showing up every single day, for example. We are women, we're cyclic beings, we move with our energy, and that's what I prioritize and encourage my clients too. So yeah, I mean, I could drill down this strategy even further, and if you want me to, ask me, I will share it with you, because I know that it's not like strategy is only a small part. Yeah, the work is in seeing what comes up for you when you put that extra 0 on your price. Seeing what comes up for you when you step into the person or the coach or the mentor that you want to be. Seeing what comes up for you when you decide to claim what it is you desire, who you desire to work with, how you desire to work with them, how long you want to work with them. Yeah. That is where the work lies. There's a lot of mindset work in there, as well as energetic work. And so this is what we do together. I can give you the strategy that I've used with this client, as I have shared. I can tell you our Pleasurepreneur approach is the high ticket, more so one-on-one investments, so that we're putting our time and energy into selling more high ticket and less like monthly nervous system stressing one-off sessions and things like that. And like telling you like exactly how to hone in on who your ideal client is and like all of those kind of things. But you have your own beautiful brain that's going to throw all these thoughts at you as to like why you can't do it, why it's not available to you, why it's too expensive, why no one would pay for that, why your clients don't have any money, like a whole range of different things. That's where the work lies. That is what I help my clients with in the mastermind and one-on-one. Yeah. In the mastermind, it's so great because we all work together and we can hear what each of us is saying, and we can recognize, like, my clients will be like, oh yeah, I have the same thoughts like that, but why do you have those thoughts? Like your work is amazing. You're offering, you know what I mean? Like, and they'll say the opposite to it. They'll say the same thing to each other, So having someone in your corner to help you recognize the mindset work that needs to be done and helping you shift it is such a huge factor in going from making hundreds a month to thousands. Yeah, I don't doubt that you can absolutely do it. But it will be so much easier if you have our group collective, if you have me coaching you to help you see what's actually holding you back. So this is the work we do together. This is work we do together in the mastermind and one-on-one. I actually have 4 spots available left in the mastermind. It's already 50% full. We don't start officially until the 5th of February. Now, as I said, this is all about focusing on creating multiple 4-figure months in your business whilst leading a pleasure-led life. Yeah. These skills, once you've learnt them, once you have built that nervous system regulation around selling high ticket, once you know how to find your personal selling style that feels really authentic and easeful for you, once you know who your ideal client is, and once you have your offering that really pleases you, you have that stuff for life. Yeah, you have those skills for life. And so everything you learn in the mastermind, you take with you. And that includes, this understanding how to make exponential income without putting in any extra time and energy. Yeah. Usually it takes less time and energy because we are honing in on what we desire. We're honing in on what brings us pleasure. And we are able to then be more motivated by that. Like pleasure itself activates our reward system. It motivates us to do the thing, to take the action, to keep going. Okay, so that's wrapping up our training for today. That is the very simple strategy we used for my client to go from $300 a month to $3,000 a month. And we can absolutely do that together. I would love to see what it is that you are challenged with at the moment, what you're working through. And let's see how we can help you go from a few hundred a month to a few thousand. Come and have a conversation with me. It'll be a free consult call and we can look at that together. We can look at if you would be a good fit for the mastermind. And yeah, there is no reason, no need for there to be a commitment made at the end of that call. The whole purpose of a consult call with me is for you to reach a decision, not a commitment. So reach the decision about like whether it's a yes or a no to jump into the mastermind. Because if it's a no, like that's so good to know for both of us. So yeah, let's have a conversation together. I am also going to be giving a free bonus to anyone who jumps in before next Wednesday, which is our next bonus coaching call. So then the rest of this week and the next 2 weeks are all bonus coaching in Telegram together, bonus weekly coaching calls. And so if you jump into the mastermind before our next coaching call on next Wednesday, I'm going to be going through all of your offerings. So I will review and audit for you your offerings, what it is that you're offering. I'm going to look at your content, whether that's on your website or on your socials. And I'm going to be looking at, what you're already sharing. And if that aligns with number 1, the goals that you have in your business, the financial goals, as well as who it is that is your ideal client that you want to be working with. And I will be giving you some recommendations about how you can change that up immediately so that you are ensuring that you're speaking directly to your ideal client so that the messaging for them makes so much sense and it's clear and they're like, oh my God, she's in my brain. I need to work with this woman. Yeah. And ensuring that like the offerings that you have are going to be profitable and sustainable for you ongoing so you can do your work for a lifetime and not a season. All right. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to wrap that up now. Do let me know if you've got any questions. I feel like we've only just like scratched the surface. Come and talk to me about the mastermind. As I said, I've only got 4 spots left and there is that bonus before we sign up. If you sign up before our coaching call next Wednesday, I will do a complete review of your copy of your offerings and see what is not incongruence with the financial goals that you have and what's not incongruence with the, calling in your ideal client. All right. Well, thanks for joining me. I'm going to wrap that up there. Bye for now. And make sure you ask me any questions that you've got, whether that's in the DMs or the comments about this training, and DM me about the mastermind. I can send you any more information that you might like. Bye for now. That wraps up today's episode. But before I sign off, I want to let you know that doors to the next round of the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind are now open. You're listening to this podcast because you know you can have both, the income and the pleasure-filled life you desire, and the mastermind is where that becomes a reality for you. If you've decided 2025 is your year to create multiple 4-figure months in your business, whilst being able to enjoy your life, like savoring slow mornings, snuggling your babes in bed, spending quality time with your family, or doing things that you enjoy outside of your business as well as in, you're going to love and totally transform yourself and your business inside the mastermind. It's my 5-month group coaching experience where we apply the key Pleasurepreneur principles and strategies that actually move the needle to create multiple 4-figure months so that you save your time, your energy, and your presence for where it counts. The mastermind is where you learn how to grow your income, sign more clients, help more people, and create a life that feels outrageously delicious and pleasure-filled for you. It's also the place where you're celebrated, supported, and witnessed by an intimate group of women who get it. You can apply right away by clicking the link in the show notes, or if you're curious and you want to learn more, send me a DM on Instagram and let's have a chat. You can also head to reganfigg.com/mastermind or click the link in the show notes. But then I don't get to hear all about you and your business goals and desires for next year, which would be a bummer for me. But you follow what you desire. And if you have any questions, of course, send them my way. We don't begin officially until February, but the sooner you join, the more bonuses you'll get, such as coaching with me this side of the new year. Because it's an intimate group with only a maximum of 8 women inside, be sure to make yourself known to me sooner rather than later as spaces are limited. All right, that's it from me. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye for now.